pregnancy. How to tell your partner that you are pregnant. And hi everyone, I'm Sindy V King. I am a relationship and dating coach for executive. I also practice Vedic astrology. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, please definitely click the button down below and subscribe. If you want a consultation, there's always links down below to learn a little bit more how you get consultation with me. That being said, we're going to be talking about one really important topic, and it has to do with pregnancy. How to tell your partner that you are pregnant, and what are the steps that you need to do. It could be a very surprise experience as well. Maybe you were trying and maybe you're unexpecting. So there's two different situations that you can deal with it. And this is how I would recommend you to approach it, and there will be two different ways as well. So either way, you might be wondering how to address this topic to your partner, and is it normal to feel some sort of nervousness? And absolutely yes. And it could be very exciting, it could be sad, it could be scary. It's just owning that emotion. After all, it's a very important conversation that you will have with your partner. The several steps that you need to take to make sure the conversation is very constructive. And that's the way that we're going to approach this today. So the first step is really communication clearly, effectively. You really reflect on how you feel about this pregnancy and own that emotion, right? So it's really important to just normalize what you're going through with your emotion. Yes, it could be exciting. Like I said, it could be scary. It could be surprising. Maybe it gives you a little bit of anxiety. So when you are dealing with something like this and it's a news that you're trying to tell your partner, or even take a grasp hold of the situation, it's a big factor. It's on its own. So once you come the shockness within yourself, the first question maybe you want to ask yourself, how do I feel about being pregnant now, knowing this information? And how does that change my life? I think those questions needs to be answered on your own. Your friends can't do this. Your parents can't do this. Your other support. This is you taking ownership of how you feel about you being pregnant. And you will naturally want, obviously, your partner to join along and get that support. But right now, I think it's really important you reflect on you about how you feel about the pregnancy. And that being said, the step 2, you want to plan what you're going to say to your partner. So, and that could come up with a plan. If you are planning a pregnancy, you can be creative. You can definitely be creative. You can make, and let him know in a creative way. So that could be a gift of some sort. It could be a pregnancy test that you give him a surprise. But, when things are unplanned, I think the topics becomes a very sensitive topic. So I would just normalize the conversation, ask them to meet, make an appointment, tell him like you got something very sensitive that you need to talk about and it's urgent. So we bring it to attention, and hopefully he's ready to receive this information and tell how you feel. Like, this is what I'm feeling. It's a little bit nervous speaking about it, and tell him, look, and you can rehearse this. You can say, babe, honey, boo-boo, whatever you want to call him, I'm pregnant. And I know this is very surprising, but I'm really happy about this news. And I think that's where you start really making sure that you feel comfortable talking about is actually, you can rehearse it before actually meeting them. So that gives you the normalization that we need to talk about this. And you know what? Emotionally and financial support, that could be you can speak about that later on. But I think the news is a very important factor. All right, so choosing the right moment to talk about it is another thing as well. So it's important to discuss what you want and make sure that you have the time and even the depth to talk about it. So if he's running out the door and going to work, maybe that's not a great time because that's really a short conversation and it could throw off the day on that. You can schedule a time to talk when you want, and we talked about that, and just tell them what date and time and when is it appropriate. You don't want to do it on a birthday. You definitely don't want to do it in a certain day that is important that you have to attend or things like that. So choose a time when you're both have a clear mind and head. So, and that simply means it doesn't necessarily needs to be before you go to bed or you're in bed about to fall asleep or whispering in his ear while he's sleeping. Don't bring it up then because it could be very exhausting and you're just getting ready and you're winding down or you're about to start your day. It could be very interruptive in many ways. You can always ask them, when is it a good time to chat about this topic? So number 4, I think speaking clearly is a really important point for any sort of pregnancy that you're dealing with. Don't be afraid of delivering this message. It's all us. We create the fear within ourselves. You have to let go of that and no judgment, no conclusion, just delivering a message. And for example, if you plan a cute, creative way to tell your partner, it's nice and fun, it's clear and exciting. So make sure you plan that, speak clearly about it. Maybe you want to plan some themed dinner or even a time where it's, where you can celebrate the big news. Don't just, drop a hint. Oh my God, I don't know how many men in this world and they really don't like hints. I think they really want to hear the full story. So no cliffhangers, unfortunately. If you're telling your partner, if you had an unexpected pregnancy, you would just want to tell him about how you feel. Again, I find out that, you can call honey boo boo or honey or, babe or his name and just say, I found out that I'm pregnant and I'm scared and not sure how to handle this. And just hear his point of view first, maybe. But don't allow your mind to wander the whole day or jump to conclusion. I think it's really important to really stay present with that. And here's the thing. Anybody who's taking a surprise message, it could react totally differently. And I think you just take it in for yourself and you don't have to project any sort of whatever is happening or reaction, but be respectful for that person, your partner's reaction. Remember that you have very little time, and that could be a she as well. Your partner is just now learning about this and has immediately respond and might be exactly what you're looking for, especially if you've been trying and you've been successful and even you've been trying to get pregnant. That person is gonna be part of their life, right? So don't get upset if they initially react into shock, and give them some time to process it. It's a really important, give them space. Don't judge them for their reaction and really allow yourself to take hold within yourself and take care of you. Understand everyone processes information differently and that's where it is. So just let them know that you're available to speak if they're not ready to speak that moment right now. Okay. When there's things are conflicting, there's conflicts. that's arising about this information that's being arise. So that's, which is the sixth factor. The conversation might become a little bit hard to deal, or he's overreacting, not making it positive. You might, might feel disappointed and even find that this is not what is, you're supposed to be, how, or feel mistrusted or a breach of trust. There are some ways that you can effectively handle the situation. And the first thing is really listen to his reaction. Ask your partner, do you not ever want kids, or you're just not ready right now? And I think you would hear where he stands and sort of his expectation. That's for himself as a man or as a partner coming forward. Try to determine what caused the reaction. Is it because it's a finance issue? Maybe he started a new job. Maybe they need to move into a different place. What is the trigger? And I think that really holds apart. If they're said they're not ready to be a father because their finance is not straightened out, I think you have to understand that issues first. And it's never that easy, obviously, when you hear that. If your partner does not want a baby, and you need to express your feeling, and you can say things like, understand how I understand how you feel, but I want this baby to choose an ultimately mine, and please let me know if the door is open to continue on this conversation. And if they say yes, then give it some time. Remember that you're on a really high vibe hormones, and there's a lot of things that's going to be changing in your body, not only your environment but also within your body. And if you do not initiate that reaction, you want this, you're frustrated, you don't like the answer that you're hearing, just say, acknowledge what they said. Understand that you're surprised and you're emotionally, and you can feel really shocked. And we can take this some time and really think about it again before we take on the next step. And that being said, make sure you have a plan together. Take the time to process the information, because broken news that you said this is going to happen, how we're going to do it together, where are we going to do stuff that is fun. And it's really important that take the time to process the information, right? And figure out things together, how you deal and solve it together, not individually. I think that's really important. And consider to have time out if that's needed, and that's fine. And try to say things like, this is for both of us to handle, and it's not only for myself. And try to say things that are relaxed for a while. You can do things that's relaxing to help you to calm down your nervous system, whatever that might be. And that could be coloring a book as well. Do your research as well. So I think that's a big factor. A lot of people kind of jumped in and they say, I want to do this on my own, but there's a lot of planning that happens in the conversation with your partner, and it has to take two people. So you need to be self-aware of what the role takes upon. So that's and that could be simply the easiest way. You can go to the library and pick a book, and you can plan it all out together that way, instead of wondering where to go next and what to do. There's great books on Amazon. I think it's such a great world and century and era where we could do that. We can buy stuff and it gets delivered to your door the next day. So I think that's a really important factor. Whatever helps you plan, get rid of any sort of anxiety or anticipation or uncertainty. I think that's the right one that could happen during the pregnancy. So you want to consider all options, and that's including your partner's and including yours, and what you decide about what to do next. Think about your parentinghood. Think about how you want to do this financially, and how to raise a child, and how to do things together. Your third option, there is terminating the child as well. And if it's unhealthy for whatever reason, it's a difficult pregnancy, you're in this journey together. And having an open communication is so important. I can't stress this enough to you. You know, if they decided, like, let's do this, let's have a baby, let's carry forward and place such a planned parenthood, offer a lot of resource to help you to make those important choices and get you in a healthy state of mind and also a plan. When you are discussing any sort of future, which is the fourth factor here, you can always take the opportunity to discuss the state of the relationship. What kind of a relationship you guys want to be in? Is it going to be a long-term? Is it committed? Or you guys want to co-parent? Whatever that looks like. But it's really important here to find out what role do you want to play in this childhood and figure out, who's going to be there when you are going through your appointments. And consider which doctor that you want to see, and there could be midwife as well, visiting the doctors, and figure out what kind of caring that you need to happen with your body when dealing with pregnancy, because it could be very overwhelming because you're through all this hormone and your body's going to change. You need to figure out what that list and come up with questions, okay? I think it's really important when you come up with question or fears that eliminates any sort of those anxiety that you might happen within yourself. I think it's so important to do that. And so for body, and just really allowing yourself to visit any sort of counseling. I love keeping journals. I'm a big advocate of keeping journal. You go by day, but you can't remember. And if you have baby brain, and that happens, I get it. So you want to keep track of that and just really own your pregnancy if you want to go forward with that pregnancy. And I think it's a great place where you can start from here. So I want to conclude our today topic, and I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please continue on subscribing, sharing, liking, and commenting. If you have not done so, please do that. Here's an opportunity that shares so much love in this world. And thank you so much for joining me. I totally appreciate it. All right, bye now. If you found this video helpful, please share it with your friends, because sharing is caring. If you want my help in your relationship or dating situation, you can always book a time with me. Check out the link below. To stay in touch, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell button so you can be notified when I post new videos. Please go ahead, hit the like button, because it encourages me to create more contents like this every week for you. If you have any ideas for a video, please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.